Now, 27 lawmakers in the Rivers State House of Assembly, loyal to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, this past week, defected to the All Progressives Congress from the People's Democratic Party. Factional Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Martin Samewule, read the defection letters during last Monday's sitting. Uduak Patrick filed this report.
Excited lawmakers flying the handy flag of the All Progressive Congress and chanting songs in support of the opposition APC in Rivers State and President Bola Tinubu after defecting from the People's Democratic Party on whose platforms they were elected. Factional Speaker Martins Anewule explains that the defection follows the perceived division in the PDP at the national level.
The Right Honorable Martin Chika Anewule, DSSRS Speaker, Rivers State House of Assembly, Moscow, Takot, Mr. Speaker. Defection to the All Progressive Congress, APC. Defection to the All Progressive Congress, APC. I write to bring to your attention my decision to leave the People's Democratic Party, PDP. This decision to leave the PDP is necessitated by the division in the People's Democratic Party, of which I was elected to this House. In particular, the tussle around who the National Secretary of the PDP is has now sharply divided the party and made it unclear as to who is the National Secretary of the party.
During Monday's sitting by the faction, the Rivers State Local Government Amendment Bill 2023 passed second reading.
This bill is to amend the principal law. The amendment is quite necessary, Mr. Speaker, at this point in time, considering that the Supreme Court, in its ruling, has criminalized the running of local government by caretaker.
And it is not proper for the resources of the people to be put in the hand of someone that does not even understand the terrain of that LG. Everything that is being allocated to the local government belongs to the local government and should be managed by a democratic elected person from that place.
Distinguished colleagues, the idea is to remove the anomaly inherent in this law. The law has given powers to the governor that the governor does not have. When our people elect councillors, elect chairmen of local governments, it will be improper for a sitting governor through a fiat remove these elected individuals.
The lawmakers condemned the alleged refusal of Governor Simina Lare Fubara to hand over to the police.
The said motion is to condemn the refusal of His Excellency Sir Simina Fubara, Governor of Rivers State, to hand over suspects that burned the Harlow Chamber to the law enforcement agencies and seizure of the funds for the management of the Rivers State House of Assembly, to condemn the present attack on the Rivers State House of Assembly and abuse of power by Sir Simina Fubara.
The governor sits comfortably in his house while the Rivers State Harlow Chamber remains unrepaired after it was burnt down by individuals and suspects that have been so named, and the governor has done nothing.
The Rivers State House of Assembly recently experienced turbulence with its membership divided into two, including a fire attack on the Assembly complex over an impeachment threat. One faction remains loyal to Governor Fubara, while the other is loyal to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, who is the immediate past governor of the state.
In the wake of that move by the lawmakers, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, called on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to immediately begin the process of conducting fresh elections in the affected 27 state constituencies in Rivers State. The party said the demand became necessary following the decision of the occupying lawmakers to defect to another political party in contravention of the provisions of the Electoral Act. In a statement, PDP's National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunagba, argued that by defecting from the PDP, the political platform on which they were elected to the Rivers State House of Assembly, the seats of the 27 lawmakers had become vacant by virtue of Section 109, subsection 1G of the 1999 Constitution. In the meantime, the caretaker chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State, Tony Okocha, has described the court order restraining the Martin Amewule faction of the State House of Assembly from sitting as a flagrant abuse of court process. Okocha is determined that the PDP will not condone any form of intimidation of its members as a consequence of their defection to a new political party. He criticized the court judgment, referring to it as a Jankara judgment, and accused the judge of bias, while threatening to report the judge to the National Judicial Council. In the wake of the political war that erupted in Rivers State, a number of commissioners loyal to the former governor and now FCT Minister Nyesom Wike tendered their letters of resignation. Some of those involved included the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Professor Zacchaeus Andango, Commissioner for Works, Dr. Dakurima George Kelly, the Commissioner for Special Projects, Chukwuemeka Awoke, Commissioner for Social Welfare and Rehabilitation, Inime Chiwenwo Aguma, and Commissioner for Finance, Isaac Kamalu. Meanwhile, lawmakers loyal to Wike held their sitting in Port Harcourt, where they criticized Governor Siminalayi Fubara for demolishing the House of Assembly complex. Again, Udua Patrick files this report on the worsening crisis in the South state.
The Martins Amewule-led lawmakers seems not to give up in its course of holding on to leadership and decision-making of the House. This is as the factional Speaker Martins Amewule and other lawmakers met despite a court order not to preside over the House. At this plenary, the lawmakers move a motion of urgent public interest condemning the demolition of the Assembly. They say the event of December 14, 2023 has never happened in the history of democracy in Rivers State.
On behalf of the undersigned honorable members, I rise to move this motion of urgent public interest to condemn the demolition of the Rivers State House of Assembly by Sir Siminalayi Fubara, Governor of Rivers State. On the 18th of December 2023, Sir Siminalayi Fubara, Governor of Rivers State, commenced the heartless demolition of the Rivers State House of Assembly complex without the approval and knowledge of the Rivers State House of Assembly. I'm convinced that the motive of this demolition is to pave way for the governor to abuse reason to have a meeting with his friend in the government house and make it impossible for proper investigation of the.
I've now been joined from Port Harcourt, Rivers State, by Honorable Awaji Inombek Abiante, who represents Andoni Okpobo Nkoro Federal Constituency of Rivers State. Honorable Abiante, thank you very much for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me, and good evening, Nigerians.
Okay, Honorable Abiante, on Friday, your good self, in collaboration with Honorable Boma Goodhead, and also the Ijaw Youth Council, led a protest to the government house in Port Harcourt to support Governor Siminalayi Fubara, and to say that, look, Fubara is a right and fit person, and Wike is the villain in this matter. How successful was our protest? And going to a government house to say we support Fubara, how much help has that offered? Considering the fact also that the governor himself is saying, well, we are supported by people with good head. How much good head? I know your colleague, Honorable Boma, good head from Asaritoru, Akulitoru Federal Constituency, bears a name that talks about good head. How much good head are we having in Rivers State?
Ruben Abati, thank you very much for this opportunity. First of all, there was no protest. We didn't lead any protest. What we did was to have a solidarity march, standing with the governor of Rivers State, the amiable Siminalaye Fubara. We had wanted to just come and tell our constituents, because we're elected to function, and that is in Abuja. And having been away for a few days, a few weeks, and all that has been happening in Rivers State, said, look, let us get back home. Let our constituents know that indeed we are in support of that man that we all went around, toured around Rivers State to campaign, to market, to sell to the people. And the people indeed accepted his candidature, voted overwhelmingly for him, and he has been sworn in as the governor of Rivers State. He is working in our collective interest. That, look, this is the man that is a governor. This is the man that we are supporting. It was not a protest. It was a solidarity march. And every man has an identity. Every man has an identity, and that identity comes from the people. Identity comes from where you are born into, where you live, or where you work, or the friends that you have. So that identity is the people of Rivers State, not just the Ijaw Youth Council alone. The attendance, the support for the solidarity visit cuts across every strata of Rivers State, every tribe in Rivers State, every local government. In fact, we were overwhelmed by that level of support that we had. And this is just to complement what our leader, the former governor of Rivers State, had preached, what he had also told the entire world. I do remember that on exit from office, there was a reception for him at the field of Elechi Amadi Polytechnic, Rumola, where he told the entire world, the clips are there, that once a governor has emerged, once somebody has been made a king, in this circumstance is the governor of Rivers State, that whether he is the least, whether he is the smallest, whether he is beautiful, whether he is ugly, whether he is educated, whether he is not educated, no matter his stature, that as long as he has been made that king, as long as he has been put in that position, that everybody must follow. He led us through that. That is what he has always taught us. That is what he has always said, that everyone will follow once you are the governor of Rivers State, including himself, that his allegiance in terms of respect should be to that person. And that's exactly what we have come to do. Say, look, Mr. Governor,
Honorable,
we are behind you. We are following the footsteps of our leader who pronounced this, who proclaimed it publicly, globally. It's there for everyone to see.
Okay, you have been accused of bias. You have been accused of the fact that you are a Prince Uche Secondus person, global chairman, who is at odds with Governor Wike. And that Honorable Buma Goodhead, who also joined you in that protest, also has her own sour grapes. And that the Ijaw National Youth Council and a faction of a faction of the Ijaw Youth Council and the Ijaw National Council, Professor Fubara, I think, Wabara, who also joined around the same time, that all of you have your own sour grapes. So what are we dealing with here? The enemy of my friend is my enemy. Is that what this is all about?
All right.
And what you guys played out on Friday?
Okay, Ruben Abati, thank you very much. Let us even ask the question, who is Prince Uche Secondus? Prince Uche Secondus was the state chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State. And the immediate past governor was also a member of the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State. Let us also ask further. Prince Uche Secondus was the National Organizing Secretary. He was at some point the Deputy National Chairman, acting chairman of the People's Democratic Party. Prince Uche Secondus had been seen, had been heard, campaigned for the then governor of Rivers State from the first tenure. I come from the same local government area with Prince Uche Secondus. Whether he has any difference with Wike, I do not know. I don't want to know. It's none of my business. If at all, I'm not considering that they have any difference. If they do, they will settle themselves. I don't have any issue with that. But that Secondus also worked for Wike from 2014. I ran my first election in 2015 to the House of Representatives. And we delivered the votes for our governor to become the governor of Rivers State in 2015. We also delivered the votes in 2019, 92,000 votes coming from Andoni. So at what point did they have any difference? What is the problem? What was their difference? What is it that they had shared and they never shared again? I don't know. So I don't have any issues with him. I don't have any issues with Secondus. I don't have any issues with Wike. Secondus is a Rivers State citizen, a citizen of this country. He should have friends. He should have brothers. He should have associates. And he worked for the party. He worked for the immediate past governor of Rivers State.
Okay.
If there has been anything in between them, I do not know.
Okay, Honorable.
And for Boma Goodhead.
Honorable Abiante.
Boma Goodhead is also a serving member of the House of Representatives. She has her constituents behind her. Her constituents elected her to do a job. Her constituents also followed her to vote for the present governor of Rivers State. If she had any issues with anybody, I do not know. It's none of my business. But what we have done is, look, this is our governor. He deserves to be supported. You talked about the Ijaw Youth Council. They are also citizens of Rivers State. They have their opinion, they have their entitlement. They desire to support whoever they want to support. And they didn't come alone. They have elected people to go to various legislative houses. And they also elected the governor. So if there is any thinking that, look, there is something that they didn't understand, or there is a seeming division in terms of support, and they have come out to say, we support the governor, have they committed any crime?
Okay, Honorable.
The Ijaw National Congress, somebody must have an identity. So you mean, you as Reuben Abati, I'm sure you're from the Southwest. So you are people who deny you because probably somebody does not like your face sitting in the studio. I don't think that is possible.
No.
So if people whose identity, if people whose identity are the same chose to, they didn't match with us. We did our own separate and they did their own separately. We didn't also do the solidarity work into government house or to government house. His Excellency the governor was not even part of what we were doing. We said, let us come, get to see the area that people have talked about. They talked about, that the chambers have been demolished. We took our solidarity march to go and see for ourselves what is happening around that place. Spoke to our people. Continue to give your support to the governor that all of us have elected. And we marched from there back to UTC. And we spoke to our people and dispersed. We were supposed to have done the second round of that march on Saturday. But we realized, because we have been away for some time, in all the details that we have, we realized that one of our illustrious sons of Rivers State, the Amanyanabo of Okrika, was to be buried that Saturday. And we felt it was going to be a mark of disrespect to sit back here in the name of having a solidarity walk, that we should put it off for now, so that we can go and give honor in burial to the revered king. And that's exactly what we have done.
Okay, talking about burials, Honorable Abiante. Now, this last weekend, one of the things that came out of your solidarity rally, you called it, was that Wike must not come to town. That if Nyesom Wike came to Port Harcourt, his name will be spelled out for him. But the same Nyesom Wike came to Port Harcourt, on, was it Friday or Saturday, with a delegation to attend the funeral of a friend of his. Okay, nothing has happened. You guys threatened on Friday that you will run him out of town. You couldn't run him out of town. He's still there. So why are you all so hard up with the Wike factor? He seems to be the master of the game in Rivers State.
Thank you very much. I know and I appreciate that you are a law-abiding citizen of this country. Can anyone look you in the face and say, Ruben Abati, you cannot come to Port Harcourt, you will not come to Rivers State? I don't think that works. I'm talking about the master of the game. Nobody masters any game. Politics, election belongs to the people. If the people are not with you, there is no master in it. You are a master because people like what you are doing and they support you. You are a master because you are able to convince them to do ABC. You are a master because you follow the rules. You are a master because you respect the wishes of others. That's what makes you master. Because all of these things, I am in doubt, strongly so, that Nyesom Wike is behind it. I am in doubt. Because this is not what he preached. This is not what he talked about. Except you want to tell me that there is a way people can have double characters. If not, this is not what he preached. He never preached this to us. He tells us that power belongs to the people. That whatever we do, this is a representative democracy. You are only asked by your people, when they give you the consent in their votes, go and represent us. So whatever powers you draw from there, you have to be guided so that anything that you want to do, you wish to do, will draw strength from them. There has been this issue that was raised, even when you were trying to do the intro, that they demolished the chambers of the Rivers State House of Assembly. Ruben Abati, sir, if you go back in history, at the occasion of the commissioning of the official residence of Mr. Speaker of Rivers State House of Assembly, the then governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, publicly berated the leadership of the assembly. In fact, he told them that chambers cannot stand the test of time. You have the tape, you can play it. He told us that chambers is leaking all over, it's leaking. So it is not befitting of anybody going there to sit down. And there was an incident that further compounded the issues within and surrounding the chambers of the Rivers State House of Assembly. And as a result of the goodwill, the governor asked for an integrity test, and that building failed that integrity test. If you were the governor, will you just close your eyes and allow people to go and risk their life because they want to sit? An alternative place was provided. Let me also remind you, Ruben Abati, that the My One Market, where it sits today, that is not what it used to be some years back. Because it has issues. It was demolished to the ground and reconstructed. Today, what we have there is more befitting. There is a market still in Port Harcourt called the Kaduna Street Fruit Market, popularly called Fruit Garden. It had an issue. It was demolished to the ground and reconstructed. The official quarters of members of the Rivers State House of Assembly that was commissioned by my boss then, Femi Gbajabiamila, the Right Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives. It used to have and house a quarters for the members of the Rivers State House of Assembly.
Okay, Honorable.
But because it was no longer befitting,
Honorable
it was demolished to the ground and reconstructed. So what is the crime? What is the crime in rebuilding the chambers of the Rivers State House of Assembly?
No, Honorable Abiante, the issue is that Simfubara decided to demolish the entire premises, the entire complex, at a time of dispute, political dispute. And nothing was saved from the complex. The chambers was destroyed, along with the institutional memory, legislative institutional memory of Rivers State. And you are justifying that? Do you think that makes sense? Don't you think that what we're dealing with here is narcissism on the part of Fubara? If you weaken me, I will Fubara you. Does he even have the strength the courage, the backing, the balls to do this?
Yes, Abati, I want to tell you, please, you can direct your cameramen to get to the premises called the River State House of Assembly complex, so that they will give you on-the-spot assessment, on the spot facts of what had happened. It is only the chambers, just the chambers of the River State House of Assembly that is brought down, that is going to be reconstructed. Every other thing, including the offices, are still standing as we speak. And the comment of the immediate past governor of River State, centered around the chambers of the River State House of Assembly, that it cannot stand the test of time. Look at the time that it had been allowed to stay between when that comment was made and when it was brought down. We are Rivers people. We have a sense of pride. We need a chamber that will be befitting indeed, for the purposes of making laws for our people.
But
Even in the National Assembly, this last point, sir. Even the National Assembly where I work, Ruben Abati, you can confirm that the chambers have been under reconstruction, renovation for some time now. There has been alternative provided for both the senators and members of the House of Representatives. Why is that not an issue? Why is it not an issue?
Honorable Abiante, the issue here is about timing.
Yes.
It's about timing. It looks like the governor is responding to, pressures. And because of that, he will pull down the State House of Assembly. If he's allowed, he will pull down the legislative quarters where the 27 lawmakers who defected are meeting. But you say the 27 lawmakers who defected don't have a case. But they are saying that within the purview of the constitutional provisions, there is division within the party. And all of you are Fubara are saying they don't have a case. But it's only a court of law that can so pronounce. So why is it that a lawmaker like you, on Friday you were saying, this is what the law says, this is what the law says, when such a position has not been reached by a court of competent jurisdiction on the conflict?
Yes, Ruben Abati, thank you very much. First, the issue of timing. What time would have been ideal? What time would have been right? It will still be the same, probably Arise TV or some other channels that would have come to say, oh, this thing has collapsed. It has killed members of the State House of Assembly. Fubara was negligent in this responsibility. There is no time that is fixed for renovations. Integrity test was conducted and it was found out that that building failed that test. What is necessary to be done is to see how they can reconstruct it, and that is what the governor graciously has put his hands to do. Then coming back to the issues of having to vacate the assist and not vacate the assist, Abati, these are lawmakers. They read the Constitution. Our loyalty number one should be to the Nigerian state. Similar things have happened. They said this, I'm not a lawyer, but they said the Supreme Court's pronouncement is always final. It has happened somewhere, I think in Ebonyi State, they had to declare their seats vacant. In Cross River State, same thing. In Ondo State, that affected a member of the House of Representatives. What is the difference? Let them go back to the forms that they even filled. They filled some forms even before the party primaries were conducted. And one of the forms was an affidavit that all of us took to the court to go and swear that the day we abandon our party, the day we leave, that we will leave behind the seat that the party gave to us. All of them, everybody, including me, I filled that affidavit. It was sworn to in the court. In the court. Talking about division. But what is division? That the office of the secretary, two people are saying, I am still the secretary. No, you are not the secretary. We have appointed an acting secretary. Does that amount to division? Go and read I'm not a lawyer, but go and read the judgment in the matter of the Ondo State member of the House of Representatives.
Abegunde versus
a clear
Ondo
description of what I'm not a lawyer. That's why it doesn't bother me to even have the names on, but I know that such a thing does exist. Go and read it. It defined, it explained what a division means in a political party. It is far from what we are talking about today. Very far from it. Far apart. There is no, in fact, there is no similarity at all. So probably they didn't have a very good legal advice before they engage in this voyage. Before they engage, probably. And our brother, a very senior legal mind in this country, Femi Falana, appeared on Channels television and said, look, you didn't have any good legal advice. That is why you did what you did. In the eyes of the law, that it is a settled fact that the seats are already gone. Okay. We are preparing to see if we will choose fresh people, go for campaigns, and we put them, because we cannot give our hearts, our mandate, our sweat, our labor to individuals who will just sit down in the comfort of their room and say, no, I have jumped ship, without consulting, without talking to anybody. No. That is not democracy. And Mr. President has hinged on good governance being the only panacea, the only solution that we can have to violent takeovers of government. You see what is happening along and around the West African sub-region. We should not fall into this trap. Good governance is hinged on the respect for the rule of law. And Mr. President, I give that to him. He has told us, look, there has to be good governance so that there will be guaranteed stability. There has to be good governance so that issues of violence, whether it is takeover of government or even amongst ourselves, will be real. Because if you don't respect the rule of law, you slap me, I slap you. That is what you have. You have anarchy. So he has talked about the rule of law, good governance. And that is, the foundation is the respect for the rule of law. That's what will guarantee good governance. So let us not push ourselves to the point where we will become a laughing stock in the Committee of Nations. Nigeria is a respected nation state around the world, and people are looking at us. They are looking at how our practice of what we call democracy is going. We should be careful not to play to the gallery. That is exactly the issue. That's exactly the problem.
Well, Honorable, look, everybody's a lawyer post-election, which was why Charles Dickens. I am not one. I wish I can go back to school to learn a little more. I know.
But I'm
which
not,
was why Charles
not
Dickens said in A Tale of Two Cities that the law is an ass through Mr. Bumbletree. So in times like this, everybody will code the law. Everybody becomes a lawyer. But let me ask you, what would be your advice to Fubara? Should he be the next person to resign?
Oh.
Everybody has said Wike should not come to town.
Who?
He has gone to town. He's there.
Who?
He's there as we speak. He's showing that if not Wike, who else? And it's intimidating everybody.
Okay.
So what next?
If you say everybody says Wike should not come, that is not correct. Because I told you that we are people that respect the rule of law. We are very law-abiding people. He is free. He is from Rivers State and a senior citizen for that matter, a former governor. Do you know what it means to be a former governor of Rivers State for 8 years? There is nobody, absolutely nobody that can come and say, you must not come into this town. No, that is far from it. And if you begin to talk about resignation, I don't know whether you insinuated or whether Fubara will be the next to resign. For the records, I respect my governor, Siminalayi Fubara, the more under this environment. Because for those who didn't know, before these issues came to the limelight, he had offered to resign. Fubara had offered to say, look, I am not interested in this. No. I am a gentleman. I want to remain the way I am. Please, I want to resign. And people of good conscience persuaded him to say, no, don't throw away our mandate. You are the one that we have elected. And God's grace has been upon you to have won the elections. Please don't go anywhere, whatever it is. And that is exactly what has kept. He has offered. Probably you don't know. I didn't know also until I had to ask a few questions, and that can be verified anyway. That he offered to say, look, Even in the time when they were looking for person who will go, he said he was even nominating others. Say, why not this man? Why not that man? I say, no, you are the one that we have considered as critical stakeholders. And let us see if the Rivers people will like your face. Let us see if the delegates first will like who you are. And they brought him out, went for the primaries, and he won. They took him to the larger part of Rivers State, transferred the 23 local government areas, and the same support came. On the election day, people voted for him overwhelmingly, and he's the governor. Even after winning, and he felt that, look,
Abiante,
he said, I want to resign.
Honorable Abiante, no. You and I, we know this game.
Ruben Abati, sir.
You and I, we know
Thank
this
you,
game.
sir.
So when they bring people out, they package them. They buy forms for them. You know how it works. Okay? But would Governor Fubara, will he be able to govern? And why has the National Assembly not intervened? Section 11, subsections 4 and 5 of the 1999 Constitution says, more or less, to summarize, that where there is a crisis in a State House of Assembly and the State House of Assembly is factionalized, and governance cannot take place, the National Assembly should intervene. Why is the National Assembly, 10th National Assembly, of which you are a member, Boma Goodhead is also a member, why are you people organizing solidarity rallies? Instead of going onto the floor of the National Assembly to say, the time has come for the National Assembly to take over the affairs of Rivers State.
Yes, Abati, like I said, I am not a lawyer. So whatever I say will just be my understanding of what I read out of it. Rivers State House of Assembly, as it is now, they have a speaker. Because what the law says, when you did your intro, you also talked about Supreme Court judgment, talking about the local government and no local government. So you cannot pick and choose. If you want to respect the law, respect it to the latest. To the letter, take it to the end. The Rivers State House of Assembly has a few persons who are already out. And the number of those who are still members of the House of Assembly, they have been performing their legislative duties based on that. The budget has been presented, it has been passed. If there are some other responsibilities for the House of Assembly, they will go on and do it. But let me tell us, even before we got to this point, I understand, I am not in the executive, I understand that Mr. President had intervened. What was it supposed to have resulted? I do not know. Are we following the advice that he gave? I do not also know, because I'm not privy to it. I'm not going to ask questions and ask beyond what I should know. But let it be on record that the remaining members of the Rivers State House of Assembly are carrying out their legislative functions as required by law. So if that is correct, the National Assembly does not have any business in taking over the legislative functions of the Rivers State House of Assembly.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Abiante Awaji Inombek, representative at the House of Representatives, representing Andoni Okpobo Nkro Federal Constituency. Well, we'll see. Although my position,
it's my pleasure
is
anytime.
that people should stop dragging.
My pleasure anytime.
Yeah, although my position is that people should stop dragging President Tinubu into every village square issue. You know, he has a bigger thing to do, because tomorrow, if he assumes that dictatorial role that all of you are pushing towards him, you will still come back here and say, oh, Nigeria is a federal country. But when village issues come up and kindergarten politicians cannot manage their issues, then you say, oh, Tinubu should come and rescue us. But thank you very much for joining us on this live, this Sunday Talk Show.